Good morning, Pamela. You were Johnny on the spot. Nice to see you on this Friday morning. KG's here. Hi, Kathy. Happy Friday. Amy says good morning and happy Friday. Good morning. I got a haircut this week, trying to fix the terrible haircut that I got. She did a pretty good job. It's the first time I've washed it, so I'm trying to figure out what. She's trying to blend this horrible. She did a pretty good job. It doesn't look great right now because I haven't done anything with it, but we'll see. Let's see. Amy says, I'm poolside with friends, feeling happy. Pamela says, I was watching a book making video, so already right here. Oh, nice. Miss M says, happy Friday, Kathy and friends. And Elaine says, hi, Johnny. I arrived at that last word. Haha. Hi, Johnny. I have no idea what you're talking about. I arrived at that last word. Haha. All right. Let's go with that. Ooh, just not a hair. How is everybody checking in? I'm checking in just feeling really like optimistic because it's supposed to be like 69 degrees here and it's almost March and the weatherman showed crocus in his front yard last night on the news, and that makes me happy. Oh, Johnny on the spot. Okay, I got it. Thanks, Elaine. That fact that I had said that had already left my brain and was filed away into an unnecessary memory because it was not anywhere in my head. And Carol's here. Good morning, Carol. So yeah, I'm feeling happy. I did kind of want to show you guys the mountains. We've had so much snow recently up in the Sierras, and the view from my bedroom is, I just love it so much. I'm going to show you what I can see out my window. Let's see, maybe, no, this is the best window, I think. So let's see what we can see here. See my mountains? Oh, I will never get tired of looking at that. Just my favorite thing in the world. Wow, it's really sunny today. Pamela says, checking in, alert and excited. Going to see some of my wild women friends this weekend. Love when internet buddies get 3D time together. Oh, yeah. Miss M says, friends, the nesting hummingbirds are back. And KG says, checking in anxious, feeling desire to spend time away from phone and just be present this weekend. Oh my gosh, KG, I can relate to that on such a deep level. I have been far too glued to my phone. And last night I was so proud of myself because my husband and I really like to watch the local news and the national news, just, a half hour of each after dinner. And very often I'll either scroll on my phone or just find something to watch. And last night I turned it off, I put my phone down, I grabbed my book, and I read for the whole evening, and it was lovely. So I'm with you. Maybe we can encourage each other this weekend. Miss M says they're perched over a feeder. And Miss M says, wow, beautiful mountains. Yeah, I love my mountains. Really grateful for that view. KG says lots of change happening at work and having anticipatory anxiety. Well, that just doesn't accomplish anything, KG. Stop. Oh, it's hard. It's so much easier said than done, isn't it? KG says, yes, I want to read this weekend. Yeah. It's such a great, relaxing, releasing activity. It's good for us. Ms. M says, may you find and hold your center through this, KG. And Pamela says, hear you, KG. That's tough when it's out of your control. Yeah. Yep. And Cindy's here. Good morning. Susanna's here. Hi, greetings from Kenya. Doing great. Susanna, I messaged Michelina. I saw that you were practicing this morning or this afternoon, evening, in your time earlier, and I could see and hear you. I'm not sure why Michelina couldn't hear you, but I could see and hear you. I couldn't leave comments for some reason, so I'm not sure what was going on with that. I was going to comment and say, I'm here and I hear it's working. But yeah, I'm so thrilled that you guys are figuring that out and that hopefully you'll be leading with us soon. It'll be so exciting. Miss M says, enjoy your weekend, Pamela. Yay. And lots of greetings for Susanna and Cindy, and Michelina is here. Good morning. Got a great group here today. So let's transition into our grounding. Our time to quiet ourselves and just kind of maybe reconnect in our own space, in our own bodies, and just take a pause from the comments and from what's going on around us to bring ourselves into this sacred space. So if you can close your eyes, if that feels good for you, maybe just take a couple seconds to center on your breath. And as you do that, I'll share a question that you can ponder for a few moments, and then I'm going to read a reading. And the question that I have for you is, how do I need to connect today? And this poem is titled Intimacy These Days, and it's by, who is it by? Jay Jans. And this is just a series of comments and questions that kind of a synopsis of a conversation between friends. How is the heaviness today? How is your coffee? What are you having for breakfast? Here's a funny picture I thought you'd like. Here's that sweater I said I might buy. Haha, look at this dog, this house, this article, this recipe. Did I tell you about my dinner? Did I tell you what my mother said? Did I tell you the story about the time? How was your walk? How was your call with your sister? What show are you watching? What show should I watch? Will I like it? Will I feel something? Have you felt anything lately? Are you sleeping? Are you eating? Are you reading anything good? I don't think anyone is washing their hair regularly. I don't think anyone realizes the weight that they are carrying. How many sweatpants is too many sweatpants? Do you want to talk about it? Should we try breathing exercises? Should we try making bread? Should we try becoming crafty? Should we try unplugging it? Should we try closing our eyes? Should we try opening them? And as you ponder that question of what connection would be most meaningful for you, I'll invite you to ask a question today or share a tidbit of your life with someone. And with that, let's take some time to draw. I'll just follow up here on these comments. Carol says, have a great time, Pamela, with your wild women. Susanna says, wonderful. I will be able to go live soon. So excited about this. Some hugs, some rainbows. Pamela says, Pamela says, gratitude to you, Michelina, for nurturing a new leader. Cheryl's here. Good morning. Michelina says, checking in, filled up from my conversation with Susanna. Susanna responds with hearts. Pamela says, that was excellent. And Michelina says, that brought tears. I feel simultaneously so connected with the hearts in this group and so disconnected by my own challenges with reaching out. Yeah, I think those little check-ins can make such a difference for us, and I could do better with that for sure. What is today? Today is February 27th. And it is Friday. I was thinking as I was preparing to lead about my tendency to be a collector of tiny things. And I don't like clutter, but I do like meaningful reminders of people and places and adventures, and that often shows up in the things that I curate and hold on to. And I have this little windowsill. There's quite a few things missing from it, but I'll show you. I have, well, come on. I have a few things here. I actually pulled a few things off, and then this windowsill over here. Look at my desk. That's my studio space. I need to do some cleaning, but you can see my just my little collections of trinkets and goodies. Few mandala retreat goodies, stones and rocks, and these are some from Michigan that Michelina saved. Anyway, I pulled a few things off of this shelf here. I don't think I'm going to paint today because I want to show you these little goodies. Because I was like, I really have loved Claudia's little show and tell of her craft projects, and I just wanted to share a few things. So this is a little teeny tiny lamp. That my mom had in a dollhouse when she was a little girl. So this is from probably the 40s. Somehow it's survived all these years. That sits here on my windowsill. And I have this lock that I got from my grandparents' house after my grandpa just passed away. And I just think it's such a cool old lock. Cool old key. That sits there. I have this. My husband is not artistic or crafty, or does not ever participate in anything creative like that. And when we were first married, we both worked at a group home for severely abused children. And they had a craft project once where someone had donated a bunch of ceramics. And this was actually before I worked there. He worked there for about 6 months before I got a job there. And he came home one day and he had painted this for me. It's got a little hatch. And I've kept it all these years because the fact that he took a minute to paint this ridiculous little ceramic for me just was so delightful. Oh dear, fell over. So there we go. This thing is something I would normally never keep or own. It's not my style at all, but after my husband's foster mom passed away, she fought cancer for 14 years and then she passed. And her husband sent this to me after she passed and said, Diane wanted you to have something. And she was very specific in what she wanted. And so it was this, and it says in here, Kathy, I will always love you, Diane. And then there's 2 other sides that are etched. And they're Bible verses. She was had a very strong faith, but I love these verses, even though I don't consider myself a Christian anymore. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them. I don't like some of the connotations of that, but what I do like about it is the idea of divine protection. And this one, she is like a tree planted by streams of water. In all that she does, she prospers, which to me is a beautiful reminder of the importance of self-care and nurturing. And then the last one that I picked is this carved piece of wood. I used to have, when I worked for Weight Watchers, I had a Weight Watchers member who would sit in the back, an old guy. I don't even remember his name, but he would sit in the back of the meeting and whittle. And he gave me this one day. And again, I don't consider myself a Christian, and the cross to me is, I can still really value the notion of sacred pauses and sacred, placing yourself in a place of connection with the divine. And that's what a cross can represents to me. And I just thought this was so beautiful. I've had it for a long time. There's some little pieces of connection for me, from me to you. I'll go back and catch up. Pamela says, I agree. I want to do better. And I also know each of you are close to my heart anytime I call you in energetically. I hope to give more, though. Miss Sam says, text check-in is fine, and I'm still thrilled with phone calls and lunch dates. And Michelina says, I feel so seen by your desk. And Miss Sam says, haha, agreed. Carol says, loved the reading. What caught me was the idea of how when we see a video or see an item or hear something, we send it along and say, this made me think of you. I love that. Michelina says, ooh, gorgeous lock. I love an old metal treasure. Sam says, lock and keys are so cool. Michelina says, that is adorable. I think you mean the ceramics, probably. And Elaine says, ooh, just love the treasure so much. And Michelina says, it marks a sacred site. Yeah. Yep. That's how I, where did my water and, oh, it's right here in front of me. I think I will take a couple minutes to paint. Anyways, that was fun to share my little trinkets. I have so many of them in this space. I could do an hour-long YouTube live just showing my trinkets every day for a while, I think. Speaking of trinkets, I think I'm gonna go. I have a private coaching client at 10, and then I think I'm gonna sneak out, play hooky a little bit, and drive over to an estate sale that I saw advertised. It's in the little next town over, and the pictures that they had were pretty hideous. I don't know if you guys frequent estate sale advertisements or photos, but there's so much stuff in this house that just make you cringe. Really kitschy, weird stuff. But sometimes I feel like those are where you find the best treasures. So I'm going to try and sneak out and go over there. Like this person had a huge, or had, I guess, it's the proper past tense. They collected Campbell's Soup memorabilia, evidently, because there's a whole bunch of Campbell's Soup stuff, which is not my thing. But there was also some really cool, like there was a really cool, like antique looking menorah, and another, some sort of Jewish, I don't know what it is, but I kind of want to go see if I can find it and Google Lens it. And my best friend here in Nevada is Jewish and collects menorahs, and I kind of want to go take a peek at that. Yeah, I want to go poke around. It's one of those that kind of drew me in, and I should be working this morning, but I can step away from my job pretty easily. So I think I'm gonna do that and then come back and work later. Ms. M says, please share that lovely reading. Thanks so much. Slay cat videos incoming. Ms. M says, estate sale treasures and fun. And Pamela says, how can I love on you today? Carol says, take a picture and send it to me. I might be able to help you identify it. Yeah, I actually thought that as I was saying it. I was like, I wonder if Cindy and Carol would be able to help me identify it. I leave on Tuesday for a week at my daughter's house, and I am so excited. I have not seen those boys since October, and that is unacceptable. I've discovered that is I'm not going to let that happen again. It's too long. And we FaceTime every day, and they know and love their Nana, but I need that. I need FaceTime, real face-to-face 3D tickle time, time on laps, and 5 months is too long. So I am thrilled to hop on a plane Tuesday morning and spend some solid time with those kiddos. Still figuring out this long distance Nana thing. And this was a good learning. Lena says, I'm willing to connect with more grace. Cindy says, yep, happy to help. I love all your special goodies. I do too. Yeah, my girlfriend on the Camino, I just kind of, I just always did it, and I never really thought of it as anything different than what other people do, but she noticed it. She was like, you're such a collector of trinkets and reminders, and I'm a little crow, I guess. So we have 2 minutes left. And if you have words to share, my mandala is kind of surprising me this morning. I don't have words yet. It's 8:30. Carol says, a little crow, shiny things. And Miss M says, how should do I feel? All right, lovelies. It is time to say goodbye. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for indulging me. Thank you for this sacred connection. Miss M says, there's an egg in the nest. Oh my gosh. Send us pictures. I want to see. Carol says, I love the idea of show and tell. Thanks for sharing your special stuff. You're welcome. And Miss Em says, thanks, Kathy. Hugs and friends. Mwah. I love you all. Have a great weekend. Oh, one more. Cindy says, feeling sad, but very grateful. 12 years today that my mom passed, and I'm leaving the beach tomorrow. Grateful to have had my mom for 94 years and time spent by the beach. That's a special remembrance, Cindy. And Pamela says, thank you for connecting us. You're so welcome.